kick it off?
I actually can't go any closer. The chair's against the thing.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
This is all I got unless I
Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, we're back with another episode of Forging Better Humans. I've got Mike Oliveros and Collin McGinnis, both of which have been on this podcast before individually. Both very amazing athletes here, and they teamed up over the weekend, last weekend, on a very cool event, very super unique event, right up their alley. But I kind of wanted to bring them in here because I had some conversations with them. Obviously, the vibe after an event's always cool. I wanted to kind of capture some of that vibe for you guys. They talked about how a lot of the training that we do here at Iron Legion helped them kind of push through a lot of what the struggles they were doing out there, a lot of the familiarity with movements that we do here all the time that they ran into on some of this grueling workout type shit they got involved with over the weekend. So I kind of want to just kind of turn it over to them because I talked to both of them individually and I got kind of the same stories, but it was cool. I just wanted to wrap it all together. So I'm not sure which one wants to kick it off a little bit, but kind of talk about where you guys went, what the idea was behind it, who you met when you were there, that kind of stuff, if that's cool. And then we just vibe off of that.
Yeah, so it was a Go Ruck branded event up in Jax Beach this weekend. Actually being run right out of Go Ruck headquarters, which is always cool. It's always cool to do an event at HQ up there. I mean, if you've ever been, and they have a new facility they just moved into, which is really cool. But it was four separate events across the weekend. You had the option to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You do it in any variation you wanted to. You had no obligation to do all four. Collin and I actually did all four. We were the only two that actually did all four. There was a few people that spoke big game in the beginning that they were going to do them, and then for various other reasons, they backed out or decided not to do all of them. But basically, it was kind of 4 variations of events that they've done for a number of years, and again with the new little bit of a spin on it. And basically they have what they call their light event, which is, they've used the word light for years, but this is kind of a new version of light. It's really your entry level event. Like this is bring your kids if you want. It's a 3-hour. It was Friday night, but it's basically bring whoever you want, bring whatever weight you want, and we're just gonna do your introduction to doing these kind of events. So naturally, being at Jax Beach, they're only a block and a half off the ocean, so we obviously went straight to the ocean right from the beginning after the admin phase, and did all the typical, ocean-esque kind of kind of rucks or kind of PT drills and all that kind of stuff, and that was a good time. But you had a good variation of people. I think more than half the people had never done an event before.
Yeah, that first night, there was like 25, and the majority of them, that was their first event. Yeah,
and it was fine. It was a good event.
Yeah.
I mean, it was well done. I was actually surprised at some of the stuff the weights they had us, they had 80-pound sandbags, which was pretty significant for that for new people, and they had one of those in there, and the cadre had those things in the ocean, so they were easily over 100 pretty fast. But nevertheless, that was real chilly. I think total distance we only went 3 or 4 miles. I mean, total distance, but it had a lot of PT and a lot of again, it's team building, working together. It's the typical.
They're good at that.
Yeah. Can you follow instructions?
Yeah.
And that's we've had this conversation before, but it's you're given instructions, and they keep it very simple. The instructions are always incredibly simple, but as humans, we overcomplicate the hell out of them, right? Yeah. So, I mean, they give you in a simple thing, and next thing you know, you've turned that into this complex monster that you fail at, and then when you go back and look at it, you go, why did you have that problem? Well, because we had to do this, and this. Well, why? No one told you to do all that other shit. That's stuff you made up along the way. Yeah. So,
especially when you get a bunch of humans together all at once.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the good idea.
20 plus people.
The good idea fairies start coming out, and it just
here's a better way to do it.
Exactly.
Stack on stack on stack.
Yeah,
how to make a ham sandwich.
The tolerance build gets pretty unreal quick there.
But they made it fun too, because what was it? It was Party in the USA they played. They split into 2 different teams, and you're in the water doing whatever flutter kicks and stuff in the water, and whoever is the loudest, whatever team is the loudest, gets out of the water first.
Okay.
So of course, our team was not the loudest, so we had to go the Party in the USA had to go again.
So he's talking about the Miley Cyrus song "Party in the USA." They had a boom box out there, and he's blaring this boom box at 10 o'clock at night. You're in the ocean, and everyone's doing flutter kicks, laying in the ocean with the surf coming over the top of you, and he's wanting you to scream "Party in the USA" to whoever was loudest. That's how you got out of the water.
You two were probably whispering.
Well,
let's keep these fuckers in here.
Yeah, naturally, you know all the words of that one already, right?
Yeah, we ruined a couple dates that night.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I mean, they did some fun stuff like that to keep it somewhat light, and keep you going with it. But anyway, that was the first night, and then when we rolled it, and that's all it was for that night. We were done, and we got dinner, went to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, it kicked off again with what they call their basic now, which their basic, if you went back in Go Ruck World 5 years ago, they used to call it the light. But the basic is like your 4 to 5 hours. You're starting to step up the intensity of the event here. So we went into that. Next morning, we had 12 or 13 on that.
Yeah.
Still
like
relatively low turnout.
Yeah.
But that was with Cadre Dan, which he's one of the OG Cadre there, and he was great. And naturally went right back to the ocean, and
can't avoid it.
Well, he's so great because it's like I was telling Ted earlier. I'm like, he's like, all right, get back in the ocean. I'm like,
back in the drink, back in the drink with you.
Okay, most times people are yelling at me. I'm like, I don't want to, but I'm like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah. But that one was the same thing. It was locked arms PT.
Yeah.
In front of a full beach full of like beach goers.
Oh no.
The first 90-degree weekend there's been in forever, and the beach is packed.
Yeah, I mean, everything from kids and families to old folks to bikini-clad women to guys surfing out there, and and here we are, waist deep in the water doing air squats and flutter kicks, and then run up to the beachhead and touch the trash can and run back.
Don't run over any dogs or babies or people.
Yeah,
right.
And then get
That's
back.
Cool.
Yeah, so there was a lot of that, and then it went from so that went on for a while. But where that led into was they had this theme for this event, which they called battle drills. So in the military, when you do battle drills, these are things that they make you do particular exercises over and over and over and over again, so you don't have to think, you can just execute, right? So they're more not mundane, but more reactionary kind of exercises that you do. Get down, get in the foxhole, or do whatever you're doing. But the point is, they drill these into your head, so some sort of a drill. So what he did was he had split us up into two teams. And then they pitted us, the two teams, against each other with the battle drills, and it was like fastest time wins.
Okay.
And this is where, again, linking back to what we do here in the gym, we're back at headquarters in the parking lot, and he had 100-pound sandball, a sandbag, 100-pound sand, but like a big medicine ball, but 100 pounds.
Right.
And then, what was it, 50, 60 pound or
60-pound ball.
60 pound.
He had a bunch of odd object.
Yeah, odd object stuff though.
Sandbags with handles. It was like weird stuff.
Yeah, and you had to do like run. You had to do like the up like an Atlas carry with it.
That
the
was
chest.
that was the 100 pounds. It was like the overhead carry run like 50 meter down and back, and then it was like shoulder presses with your ruck and whatever, and it was all time.
Yeah, push-ups and stuff like that.
Push-ups, and then there was the sandbag tossed over the shoulder, and I remember we were sitting
like a Wednesday.
And like Mike looked over at me, and he's like,
yeah,
we do this all the time.
We do this all the time. Yeah.
Well, and it was funny to see the people that were as surprised and taken back by the sandbag Atlas carry run, or rather the Atlas the high carry like a stone high carry or the over the shoulder thing, because some people don't do that kind of stuff, obviously.
Right.
So for me and Collin, that was kind of old hat, so that was kind of fun, and
that's cool.
And I think with that one, were we on separate teams for that one or the same team? I don't remember.
I think it was separate at that time.
Yeah, we might have been on separate teams, yeah.
The tough at the end of the
weekend. Yeah, we were on the same teams, yeah. But nevertheless, so we that went on for a few iterations, and you had to ruck a mile, and then come back and do through another iteration. And they threw some other stuff, and they threw some cognitive stuff in there, which was kind of fun, just made you think on top of.
Was that the Rubik's Cube thing you were talking about?
That was later. We did Boppets the first
time.
Yeah,
the Boppets, yeah.
First round, the other team, I think it was your team,
we were
did 12 rotations. Yeah. So they would grade you on how many times it would bop it, twist it, and pass it. So they got 12 passes. I was the first person to hold it, never even got it to the pass, never even got to bop it, failed before I did anything.
So needless to say,
brain's not firing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, can you do a cognitive, a simple task like that after your heart rate's jacked up, you're hot and sweaty and all that.
Yep.
And so either way, that was fun, right? We just went back and forth on that.
Yep.
And then that event ended. We had a couple hours off, and then early Saturday evening was a 12-mile ruck. And
did it link right into that, or was there?
So there was a small break in between.
Okay.
But then there was a 12-mile. So this is like the third event now, and so a whole bunch of new people showed up. I don't even remember how many had that 18 or there was quite a few of that.
There was a decent amount at the 12-mile area,
and a lot of people that were just random people that hadn't seen it all.
Yeah, just rotated in, or somebody was dropping in for the weekend and would just do that event and leave.
Okay.
And I think at this point, it was only us two and two other guys that had done the first two.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, what they did for that, it was like a time trial deal, and they basically had a 1 mile loop from headquarters, and basically you had to do 12 of those loops.
Okay.
And that was how you're going to get your 12-mile done. And they've done different variations of that, but they decided to do that because they wanted to watch time on every lap. And when you came in, basically you had a huge patch board hanging from a tree. I mean, it was 15 feet wide, and you had to put a patch on there with your number on it. They give you everyone a roster number, and you had to just keep track of so he could keep track of where you were at.
Okay.
And that one was kind of good because me and Collin started that one. We walked the first 3 laps, and there's a couple of hard chargers just took off running, right?
Yeah.
And so we walked the first, and it's a rectangle street, so it's up a street, make a right, down a street, make a right down a street, make a right back into headquarters.
Yeah.
But there was 2 long ends and 2 short ends of that rectangle, right? And so we walked the first 3 miles, just casual, right?
Yeah,
and
we've
then I was
done
like,
this before.
Yeah, it's like we got it. We're gonna have to step this up though, because
Yeah.
we know this event ends and you only had less than an hour, and then the 12-hour overnight one started.
Yeah,
the 4th event.
Looked at our time, and we were like, "Fuck!" We're like, "All right, we got to get moving."
Yeah. So we decided then to start shuffling, like we do on our rucks in the morning sometimes. We end up shuffle running. Not really running, but just shuffling the longs, walking the shorts or the rectangle. Run. Shuffle down, make a right, walk, shuffle down the next long, make a right, and walk into headquarters. Do your get your patch or whatever, and do the same thing. And within about 4 or 5 laps, we had lapped the entire field or caught the entire field except for one guy who was basically just running the whole time.
Right.
But that was kind of fun because there were a few guys were not expecting to see us catch them.
Oh, there's those guys. Holy shit.
Yeah. Where'd they come from? Yeah.
Literally, we heard that multiple times. Like, where did these guys come from?
Yeah.
Oh, there they are.
Very tactical approach to
we
distance.
took souls that night.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was fun. Yeah.
That was
dope.
good.
And then so that's how that one ended. We had about an hour. We got some chow, and then we started the 12-hour, which had very low turnout. But to the cadre's credit, he made it a really cool event, considering that there was only like 5 of us or 6 of us, or whatever it was. Yeah.
But you're 24 hours deep now with no sleep.
Nah, we had some sleep the night before. We got some sleep in the night before because between the first event and the second event there was 10 hours off or 9 hours off
from Friday night. Yeah,
total.
We did sleep Friday.
Yeah.
Friday
But we went and got
on it.
yeah. I mean we didn't sleep that entire time, but we did have some time off between the first 2 rations there. But either way, when we got into the final one, though, that was, to his credit, he did a really good job considering there was a relatively low turnout. He was planning on doing those battle drills similar to what we had done for that basic, but we didn't have enough people to do teams. So he basically went ahead and just pitted us against each other. So instead of having 2 teams of 10 or whatever, it was 5 teams of 1, and it was like pays to be a winner.
Oh shit!
And we ran through similar movements.
Those,
the sandbag, for high carry, sandbag overhead. So we did start off with that event with a ruck with a log, didn't we?
We started that off with the ruck with the log.
Yeah.
That's when we went to that park.
Yeah.
And there was it was a pretty big park. It was.
That's right.
Like a splash pad. There was a football field and some other stuff.
Yeah.
And we're making with the log. We put it down. We're walking around. There's a trail all the way around the park.
And then those little exercise stations,
Little side stations, and he's like, "Oh look, pull-up bar."
Yeah.
Knock 12 out real quick.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh,
and it
shit.
was just he was just so nice.
And then it was
about
we went down another,
I will.
50,
Yeah.
I will.
another 50 yards. Look, another pull-up bar. 12 more.
It just kept going.
But even that surprised me. I mean, nothing against anyone that was the other 3 guys because they were all great. But it's I was surprised how bad people struggle with pull-ups, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, bad.
Yeah.
And it's even some of it was just form. It's dude, you're easily strong enough to do that, but it's not a bicep movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Use the big muscles.
I'm working with some military guys right now, and I just made the assumption that they were great with pull-ups. You would think U.S. Army pull-ups.
Yeah.
Not the case, guys.
Yeah. But nevertheless, so we did that I forgot that. We did that for a while.
And then at the park, because this is when I was telling Ted earlier, is when we had to move the center blocks, do the farmer carry with the center blocks around the park to the other side.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just a normal day at our Legion. In fact, after the workout, you go a couple laps around the gym.
It's time and retention.
Yeah,
It's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we're
no
just
kidding.
Lock into a couple 70-pound kettlebells and go for a walk, boys.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a center block in either hand, and we had to walk them, probably 100 yards with it.
Yeah.
Every bit of 100 yards,
Every bit of it, yeah.
And you go back and get more.
And go back and get more. And just,
Yeah. See these center blocks over here? I think they want them on the other side of the park.
they
Take them
want
over
them
there.
on the other
That's what it was. That was the reasoning behind it.
And then you're like, you know what? I bet you're right. Let's grab them.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
But yeah, then we got we took the log back, and then we went through those battle drills again that we said that we went through, and again that was one of those things, right, where it was pays to be a winner, and if you won, there was a penalty workout if you lost.
Okay.
But since there's only 5 of us, it was such a small team. No matter what we went through, 5 iterations of that.
Yeah, 5 iterations of that. Yeah.
Now, not one person that won ever sat out the break. Everyone they just jumped into the workout with the other 4 guys.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to be one of those guys.
Yeah, be that guy that's sitting there while the other 4 guys are working out in front of you, you know, because you beat them by a couple of seconds. But that was what was interesting too. Was some of those workouts that we did, how tight the times got.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them were
close.
I mean, some of them were close. I mean, some of them
within seconds.
Yeah, within seconds. Yeah. I mean, you and I had one that we tied basically on.
Dead tie. It was like 39.7 to 39.9.
What's a workout like that look like?
It was like we were talking about, where you had to like grab the sandbag ball, run down, run back with it, do push-ups, do something else, you know.
Yeah, it was
just small Metcon type thing.
Exactly.
Little quick, like 50-meter down back thing.
And then put 12 push-ups, 12 bent over rows, 12 something like that, you know.
Real high intensity. But then that's when the Rubik's Cube came out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing as popping. He was like, I need what was a dandelion. So the yellow square in the middle, and then like the white cross,
yeah.
The white cross around it, and it's just like.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right.
Fuck.
Exactly. How often has anyone here messed with a Rubik's Cube, you know?
Not very common anymore.
Yeah.
But and then he would tell good stories. He would tell like why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
This is how we did in the military. We would get PT'd, cognitive test, shoot, or in any order, and he would explain, like tell a story or explain why he's doing it or how they did it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like point, hey, do this. Get
Yeah,
it
it
done.
wasn't
It
just
was like more,
wasn't just beating on you for the hell of beating on you. Yeah. And that's always what's good about
I thought
those.
Go Ruck was always good with that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they always put not necessarily just a story in there, but they'll put a story in there and they'll give you a why.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that helps a lot, especially when you're in those like late night emotional states, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm in it. I'm fucking in it.
You're 20-something hours in, and
Yeah. You can see it almost. You can almost visualize the story. You can see the whole. You can feel it a little bit better because you're at that high rate of, high adrenaline, high emotional state. You're tired. You're exhausted. Like you can kind of click in a little bit.
Yep. I mean, and the people you meet too are just cool. I mean, it was 5 of us, but it was like a super close knit. Like nobody complained. Nobody.
Yeah, I admit it was, and even like I think he even mentioned it. It's nice when you kind of have a small group, you know, because when it gets big, it's cool to have big events with 50, 60, 100 people. But then you start getting 50, 60 different attitudes and backgrounds and emotions, and sometimes it can be, again, it's no different than a team at work or team anywhere else. You know, you get too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes. And I think it's what they even told, they've talked about it before. It's, to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. No one can be a good leader if you're not a good follower, because you need to understand what it's like to follow to be able to lead.
Right.
And so the thing is, sometimes you get people that want to lead too much. No, it's not time to lead right now. It's time to follow. But even a good example, and I can't think of the young man's name, but we had a kid the first night if you could tell he was a college student, straight off the couch, overweight. You could tell he's never done anything like this in his entire life.
Right.
And it didn't take long at all until the wheels were coming off hard on him, and all he was telling himself all the wrong things, right? Everything's the typical, right?
Sure.
But at one point in time, we had to move as a team from point A to point B, and again, wheels coming off. He was way in the back, so I ran back there and trying to pump him up a little bit and all that. And he looks at me and goes, "Man, I'm done. I want to quit."
This is on the first 4 hours.
This is the first 4, and this was like the first 30 minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And he's like, "Yeah, I'm done. I can't do this. This is I'm gonna go ahead and stop." And let's not worry about that right now. Let's get up here, right to the group. We'll figure it out. Okay?
One step at a time.
So I got him up there, and the cadre had seen me working, talking with him. He's like, "What's going on with him?" And I said he wants to quit. And he's like, "Well, he's not allowed to quit. Your job is to make sure that kid doesn't quit."
Nice.
And I was like, "All right." So we hung with him for the rest of the event. We had to take his bag for a little while. We did, but by the end, he finished it, and he had pretty high spirits at the end there. You could tell. And like that one guy said, it was, you never know. That might have been the catalyst for that kid that turns his life around. You never know. What I mean?
Yep.
But obviously his heart rate got a little high. He got in his own head, started worrying about himself, and boy, he got there quick. I said, "Hey, don't worry about that. Let's just breathe, and we'll worry about all that later."
Well, these times people are not used to leaning on other people anymore.
Yeah.
They all think they're out there by themselves, and these kind of events like that kind of show.
Yeah.
That's why I like these types of events.
Sure.
Because you can lean on the team.
Yeah.
Once you start leaning on the team, then you start working as a unit.
Yeah.
And things all start working better. But when you start separating and getting in your own head, just like you're saying, that's life too, man.
Yeah, you got to put yourself last in that situation. It was the mission, the men, and me, right? I mean, you gotta work in that order, So you start worrying about everybody else. You start being selfless. Then you start worrying about yourself, and then it goes downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even like the kid that was, he came in and only did the 12-hour with us, the one that is like 23 years old, flew
Yeah.
down from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
By himself.
Never done an event before.
Never done an event before. Landed, went to like a sporting goods store,
Yeah.
bought a 30-pound dumbbell, wrapped it in towels, threw it in his ruck, and showed up.
Yeah,
that's cool.
With a dumbbell wrapped in towels in his ruck.
Yeah.
And the cadre saw that, goes, let me grab you a plate from headquarters.
Yeah, let me help you out here.
Put
We're
that
at
down.
headquarters.
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
give you some real shit.
Yeah, he would have got him 30 pounds worth of plates. Like, you don't want that fucking thing back
No,
there.
your back would be fucked.
Hit him in the back of the head,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah.
No.
Like flying out of town by myself, first event, 12 hours. It starts at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
He flew in the day before. I'm like, dude, that's freaking cool.
Yeah,
Did he make it all the way through?
Yeah.
That's
No, he was
actually-
he was a bit of a stud. I mean, he was a good athlete.
Yeah.
But it's still good for him just to show up.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Well, that's why when we were rolling into the event, there was such little turnout. We're like, man, they might cancel this thing. You know, we were kind of talking about that. And then when we heard this guy flew in that night or that day just for this event, like, yeah, we ain't canceling it now.
No.
This poor guy's got skin in the game here.
We're going all the way through to the end.
And that was one of the things that, like, the cadre did say, hey, this is a little different. We're doing these battle drills on this one, all this stuff. He goes, otherwise, we'd leave headquarters and we'll be back here in 12 hours. We're taking all that stuff and going around town, you know?
No, that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
So, you would recommend that again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, that kind of is our little segue there. So we did Warriors Call with you guys. You guys did the one back in November. And we just recently got a call from Jupiter Beach, our buddy down there, Adam Davis at CrossFit Sea Dog. He does summer Sea Dog Showdown. Sea Dog Summer Showdown, I think it's the other way around. And they want us to do a ruck down there. So we're headed down to Jupiter Beach May 2nd. And then, Mike, you're running the event down there. So
Actually, the night of May 1st, it will start.
May 1st, the night of May 1st, going into May 2nd. I think they have a big military exposition during that. I think there's it's a charity fundraiser that they're doing down there for it's a Veterans Warriors.
I think it's Wounded Warrior.
It's something like Wounded Warrior or
That'd be
something
good
like
turnout.
that. Might be.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Wounded Warriors. I think it's something related.
Something related to that, yes.
But they've got a lot of the branches of the military are going to be down there, and I think they said they had something going on at 11, if I remember correctly,
Yep.
and they wanted us to finish the ruck up coming in
that's
to
gonna
that
be the idea.
particular expo.
So we'll roll
during the event. So
We'll go down to Jupiter. We'll tear up that whole place,
yeah, it's
all
gonna
that
be
city
cool.
and all that.
Yep.
There's some opposed to Ocala, there is some terrain features down there, you could say, that are some.
Ocala's an interesting place to do a
It
run
is.
for sure. But
Oh,
I
it
mean,
is,
it's
yeah.
having the beach and having
Yeah.
those big bridges and that landscape from down there in Jupiter Beach is going to be really cool.
Yeah, and then we'll, again, to finish it up right around, not necessarily their opening ceremony, but when they have that military demo,
Yeah.
if we can roll,
Yeah,
finish
they
up
have
around the time.
military flybys and flyovers and stuff during the thing. It's going to be really.
It's going to be
cool.
really
That's
going
gonna
to be a
cool
fun event. So that's May 1st. It's going to be. We'll get the details out there, but it'll start the evening of Friday, May 1st, and Saturday, before lunchtime.
I'm pumped, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
That's going to be a fun one. Well, yeah, I just wanted to get you guys on here while you're still buzzing about the event, kind of talk about it and how it related to some of your training you do here at Iron Legion. I was super proud and pumped when I heard you guys were the last two to make it through from day one all the way to the end. They were some of the only guys to do that. I think a couple of them tried and couldn't, that type of stuff. And hats off to them too. I know how hard those events are. That's not a disrespect or a diss at all. Yeah. But I know that you guys put in a lot of time here at the gym. You guys love these styles of events. So I was pretty impressed when I heard the story. I was like, we got to get this thing on a podcast and talk about it a little bit while it's hot and fresh.
Right, it was a good time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming and shaking up your day a little bit today and getting in here and talking about it. But we're getting ready to jump into some classes here at 4:00. But
Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys. Yep, that's our
See y'all.
episode. I'm not sure what number anymore, but we're racking them up, man. We've been hitting them every week. So stay tuned. We'll have another one next week. Forging Better Humans out. How about that? 20 minutes? 18?
25.
Ooh, 25.